Welcome to An Apple a Day, a podcast, a resource, a community. Share your experiences and learn from others as we overcome barriers and learn to live a happy and healthy life. Not as disabled people, but as people with a disability. Welcome to the community. Here's your host, Jimmy Apple.
Welcome to another episode of An Apple a Day. I'm your host, Jimmy Apple. How you feeling today, my friends? You feeling good? You feeling strong? You feeling better than you did yesterday? Excellent. You can't ask for better than that. We have got a good one for you today. Today we have a guest who's returning to the podcast. She's probably one of the hardest working people in the disability community. Her name is Kristy Taylor. She's also known by Veg Chris. Kristy, she doesn't stop. She's the type of person that probably has to add an extra day a week into her schedule. She has to have an 8-day work week, and she probably needs 30 hours a day just to keep her schedule manageable. She's relentless. If someone suggests something to her, she jumps in with 2 feet and she looks for a way to make it possible. Today, she's going to tell us about a petition that she started in Las Vegas. It's amazing to me. She doesn't sleep, this woman. And I'm surprised her husband puts up with it. But he must be very understanding. He must be a very understanding man. Now, I'm not going to fluff this up. You all know Kristy, and if you don't, you're going to be amazed. You're going to be amazed by her. So sit back, relax, and I want to introduce you to Kristy Taylor, also known as Veg Chris. So sit back, relax, and let me introduce you to Kristy. As I told you, I have with us today Kristy Taylor. Now you're probably saying, I've heard that name before. Of course you have. She's been here before, and you might know her as Veg Chris, but she doesn't like to go by that name anymore. Now she's Kristy Taylor. How are you, Kristy?
I'm good, Jimmy. Thank you for having me back on.
So, I see that you have a petition. Now, what's this petition all about?
That petition is to get support backers to get a disability pride parade started out here in Las Vegas.
Well, all right. Disability pride. Let's start with that. You would think that everybody should know that July is Disability Pride Month.
Right.
But no. I mean, I know it, you know it, and maybe half of the people with disabilities know it. It's not promoted. I don't know why it's not promoted. It should be promoted.
Agree.
People with disabilities, they're part of the biggest minority in the world. And we're the most discriminated against minority in the world. And to make matters worse, we're the most diverse minority in the world. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, yellow, or pink. You're in, or you can be part of this minority. And you can end up as part of this minority at any point in your life.
Right.
But I don't understand why people don't know that July is Disability Pride Month. Do you?
I don't know either. Yeah, we need to advertise it more. I think in social media, and also explain that this is a commemoration of the passing of the ADA, which is so important for us with as people with disabilities. This is really important, and I think a lot of people don't really know about it. But if this act never passed, we would have less ramps, would have less grab bars, less accessibility than we do now.
Exactly.
So it's so important to educate people about this, so they can appreciate what we have. And we are lucky enough to have, I mean, it's not perfect, but we do have more accessibility here in our country than some other countries have.
That's right. The ADA passed in 1990, correct?
1990 under President Bush. And to piggyback on what you're saying about how disability can be any group. So it doesn't discriminate. You can be whatever race. You can be on the left of politics, on the right. You could be in the middle. You could be young. You could be old.
You could be gay, straight. You could be
exactly.
You want to be transgender. I don't care what gender you are. That disability doesn't discriminate.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's a nonpartisan issue, and it's something that everyone should be able to get behind, no matter what. Even if people don't have a disability, I'm willing to bet majority of people have a person with a disability in their family or friend circle. You know, everyone knows someone, at least one person, I would think.
Exactly. And I think there isn't a person in the world that doesn't have a disability when you think about it. Put it this way. If you're overweight, it's a disability. If you're bald, it's a disability. You have glasses, it's a disability.
Yeah, everyone has something. Everyone has their own issue.
Exactly. Exactly. And why they forget about it, why they push it to the side, it's just, I don't know, it aggravates me. It aggravates me. I know it aggravates you, because we advocate for people with disabilities.
Right.
To me, it's like people look at us or look at people with disabilities and say, they'll wait. They'll get around without us. Don't worry about it. They have no problem in parking in accessible handicap spots, thinking that there's nothing wrong with them doing that. They don't.
There are some people like that. Yes, for sure.
They don't realize that those spots are there for a reason. They think that people with handicaps or disabilities are getting over somehow because those spots are there. They don't realize when they park in crosswalks where those ramps at the corners, those are there for a reason. People with walkers, with wheelchairs need those ramps.
Yes, I need the ramp. Yes.
To get off the sidewalk.
Someone was did you go somewhere and someone was blocking the ramp?
They don't realize that, but they park there. They're going to run into the store for 10 minutes to get a soda or to get a pack of cigarettes. And meanwhile, the person that had to get across the street can't do it because they can't get off the curb because they parked their car there. Respect for people with disabilities, it doesn't take much.
It doesn't. Correct. Agree.
What if that was your parent, your mother, your father that had to cross that street, or your brother, your sister, or maybe it was your mother or your father that needed that accessible parking spot.
Right.
Wouldn't you want them to be able to get in and get out, to get into the store? And you're saying, well, what do they got to go into the store for? They got to go into the store for the same reason that you have to go into the store.
Jimmy, you don't get it. They were in a hurry.
Yeah, but I'm sorry if you're in a hurry. I'm sorry if I'm making you late for something. But the person that needs that accessible spot at the grocery store, what do you think they're going to the store for? To walk around and look at people? No, they're going there to get food. The same thing that your parents are going there for.
Right.
It's respect. That's what
Yeah.
that's what Disability Pride Month is for. Just show respect.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely respect, and also just kind of embracing the fact that we're different, and being okay with that.
Right.
Like embracing that and celebrating that, and not feeling bad about the things we can't do, and just looking towards what we can do and focusing on that. That's kind of how I've lived my life for the most part.
Exactly. Look at us like we're human beings. we're not aliens, and teach your kids. I mean,
Right.
look at a person like Kristy. Kristy has a disease called Ataxia. It's not contagious. You're not going to catch it from her. It causes her to walk a little bit funny. Not funny, haha, but she walks with some difficulty. It causes her to speak a little bit differently, but it's not something you're going to catch. And if you listen to her, she's not talking any differently than you. You just listen to her. Maybe it sounds like a different language. And I don't know what it sounds like for you. For me, she sounds like Kristy Taylor. And we hold a conversation. You look at me.
Yeah.
I'm missing some body parts here. I'm missing a leg. Doesn't make me really any much that much different from you. I have one leg. You have two. Look past that. Look at our personalities.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Some people can't see beyond your physical condition.
Right.
But there are also a lot of people who can. I tend to hang out with those people. But yeah, there are definitely some people who see you as a walker, a cane, a wheelchair, and maybe you're missing a limb, maybe. And some people are, I don't know what the right word is, weirded out by it, put off by it.
Right.
And those people, I just tend to not really find them interesting people. And I don't really want to spend time with people like that anyway. That seem like they're not really open-minded, accepting people. Why would I want to spend time around people like that?
Neither do I. I don't want to spend time. If you're going to look at me and find it disgusting that, look, I've had a couple of strokes. I've got a hand that doesn't work all that well, and I'm missing a leg. If you're going to find that disgusting or whatever you find, then I kind of find you disgusting too.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
There are some cases where I've been out and gone out, and I've heard this from other people with disabilities too, because I'm friends with a lot of people with Ataxia for sure, but I'm also friends with people with all different kinds of conditions and disabilities. But yeah, I have gone out, just had the conversation with friends, and yeah, we have gone out, and sometimes people kind of don't look at you in the eyes, or just
right.
their tone of voice changes, or just like why, why?
I like the people that look at me and they start talking slowly, like.
Oh no!
All of a sudden, I can't understand. Like, how are you? I always tell the story.
How are you? They get louder.
Yeah, they get louder. Like my hearing is gone too.
Oh my gosh!
I had this. I always tell the story. It happened only a few weeks ago. I was in this restaurant in Fishkill, and we were waiting for a table. My wife ran back out to the car to get something. So I'm in the vestibule, and this woman came out, and she meant well. I have to say that. She meant well. She patted me on the shoulder, and she says, "Things will get better, dear."
Oh my God, I've done that before too. I've done that before too.
And I looked at her, I said, "Thanks."
Something like that too. So cringy. Cringy people. So cringy. People, don't do that.
Yeah,
Please
yeah,
don't
really.
Do that.
Don't touch me.
I read articles, or I've seen posts about people hasn't happened to me. Some weird stuff has happened to me before, but this has not happened to me. But I've read accounts where people are out in public in the wheelchairs, and people will come, and I don't know why. It's happened to me too in different forms. I can talk about that too. But people put them on the head.
Yes.
You're trying to console you. Trying to console you. Like, why
are you patting me on the head?
I'm not a cat or dog. So silly.
I know we're laughing about this, but all we're talking about is please treat us with respect.
You're so silly. Oh my gosh, Jimmy. Okay, so you just reminded me of a story. I don't go out to bars and concerts as much as I used to, but I have started going out to some I really want to go. And there's a bar here in Las Vegas I went to see a band that was playing, and this lady, she must have been super drunk. She comes out of nowhere. Okay, it's like maybe midnight, 1 a.m., something late, super late. And I was leaving soon. And she comes up to me. I was on my rollator. I had my rollator. And she comes up and hugs me, wraps her arms around me. I'm like, what the heck? Just have a stranger like hug you. And then she says, I have a cousin, or was it a brother? I can't remember. But they have autism. And so she knows how hard it is to for a person with a disability to go out. And nice sentiment, really nice sentiment. Really nice, kind, very kind. But like,
it is.
You don't have to come up and hug people you don't know.
I mean, it is. It's a nice sentiment, and they mean well by it, but it's very awkward. Yes.
Very.
Yeah, it's like the people that say, I know somebody in a wheelchair. Okay, me too. I know a couple.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I have a friend that's in a wheelchair. Oh yeah, me too. But,
hey, guess what? Everyone in a wheelchair, we all know each other.
Yeah, do you know? Do you know John? He's in a wheelchair. Oh yeah, I know John. No.
Yeah.
We all come from the same school. No, I mean they mean well, and they want to make you feel welcome when they do that. It's nice. I've had people though, but this happened a couple of years back. I was in the hospital, and this annoyed me. Actually, it still annoys me today when I think about it. I was in the hospital, and I was in a manual wheelchair, and I don't know what they were, whether they were a nurse or a nurse's aide or whatever, came down the hallway, and without saying a word to me, just pushed me out of the way. Like I was.
That's a no, Jimmy.
Like I was a piece of furniture. I was like, "Excuse me," and they just kept walking.
No. That's a no. Anyone listening? It's a no.
Yeah, that's it.
Without anyone. Yeah, it's like, go ahead.
No, that would be like walking down the hallway when I could walk, and just pushed you out of the way and just kept walking. Exactly. That's That's a big no. You don't do something like that. But
now that's one of the first things I read. I'm going through all this because when you first diagnose, you don't really know. You look up all the stuff online, and I ran across that. I'm like, yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, you can't push someone. Anyone's walker, wheelchair, cane, mobility device is an extension of that person.
Exactly.
And just like you said, Jimmy, it's like if someone you're walking and someone pushed your own body. And
I want to say that's almost like a declaring war, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. I haven't had anyone push me, but yeah, I'd go all out.
Because if I was on 2 feet and you pushed me, I'd probably punch you in the face.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So that's like that was hard. That was hard. And even still, when I think about it today, because that's taking away someone's dignity.
Right.
You know,
Right.
that's, and I would never, ever do that to someone. The same as if I was walking down the hall and you were in my way, I'll say, "Excuse me,"
Right.
you know, but I would
Right.
never just push you out of the way.
Yeah, that's just plain rude.
Right.
Plain rude.
But again, back to Pride Month. You want to build up somebody's pride during
Right.
Pride Month. And
Right. Right.
accepting, and it's during July, maybe, and it shouldn't just be during July, but it would be nice to learn about people with disability. Maybe it would be a nice time to teach your kids about people with disability, because they're going to run into people or come across
Yes.
people in their schooling that have disabilities. I don't know about you, but I remember as a kid, we had a kid in school and nobody knew how to deal with him. He wore
Right.
braces. I'm not going to say I didn't make fun of him. I'll be honest with you, I didn't, because my parents were very strict, and I was more afraid of getting in trouble at home if I got back to them. But there was people that used to make fun of this kid, and he walked.
Oh.
Well, he had ended up having I forget what, muscular dystrophy or something like that. And it
Oh.
was the
Okay.
early stages. He ended up in a wheelchair. But he had it rough the first couple of years in school. And then he was taken out and went to a special school. But I just remember how hard it was for him watching it. And it was difficult,
Yeah.
not so much the kids making fun of him, but so difficult for him to make it into the class and get to his seat,
Oh. Really? Oh.
And I think back, and I just remember him. So your kids are going to come across children that have disabilities. So maybe July might be a good month just to teach them something.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, Jamie. I just did an interview with a magazine and focusing on disability, that focuses on disability. And they mentioned to me, they asked me, what would it like people to know about? I mentioned, it's hard. I want people, I can go on for like an hour with people, what I would like people to know about regarding disability. But the main two things was with any disability, anyone who uses a walker, a wheelchair, or a cane, explain that to kids so they're not scared when they see them. Because I just went to a car event just like a few months ago, actually. I've been to a bunch of places and there have been kids there and they're scared. When you see the look in their eye, their face, their expression. Right?
Sure, they don't know.
Right, and they don't know why you're using a walker or why I kind of walk how I walk. They probably associate that with something kind of like a movie, something like quote, like not normal, quote, end quote, like some kind of, I don't know what they associated with, but the look on their face was a little bit shocked. And so that was one of the things I talked about, was I agree with you, Jimmy. It'd be so good if parents could actually talk to their kids and it could just be a 5-10 minute conversation. Just so-and-so uses this wheelchair, this little leg, or this cane to help them walk because their legs don't work as well. So their speech sounds this way because their muscles are affected by the condition, medical condition, whatever.
Right.
Just educate them a little bit, right?
A little bit. It doesn't have to be a whole, school. Like when you come across somebody, just give them a quick education. Like, for example, and this is just last weekend. We were at a diner in Fishkill, and two little girls. They seen me coming, and they were whispering back and forth to one another because.
Oh no.
Well, no, because they didn't know anything about somebody not having a leg. They couldn't have been any more than 6 or 7 years old.
Okay.
And right there, that was a good teaching point for the parent. And instead of the parent saying something to him, they said, she shielded the little girls and said, come on. Yeah, it would have been a good point just to say, well, the guy lost his leg. You don't know where he lost his leg.
Yeah, definitely. That was a missed opportunity for sure.
Unless maybe she said something to him in the car. Who knows? But even at that point, I had an incident in the very, very beginning when I first lost my leg below the knee, and I didn't have to be in a wheelchair, and I had a prosthetic. And we were in a TGI Fridays or something like that. My pants leg rose up a little bit when I sat down, and you could see. I didn't realize you could see the bar, the metal bar, from the prosthetic. And when the table across from us, the little boy seen it, and he said something to his father, and didn't faze me. I figured he asked his father what it was, and I was trying to pull my pants like that. Anyway, I got up to go use the facilities, and the father and the son ended up in there. And the father was ignorant, if you ask me. He said to me, he said, my son wants to see your leg. I was like, what? He says he wants to see your leg. And I just walked away from him. Yeah, so some people are just plain ignorant. But anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Some people are, that's a good word, ignorant. So, definitely it depends on someone's approach, the way they ask it. Because, sometimes, I'm happy to show if they ask my wheelchair or anything like that, if they ask respectfully. But, there are some people who just say the weirdest things, inappropriate things, and also the tone of voice. Some people it's almost like they expect you to disclose or to show off or share something.
Well, they expect that you're there for their entertainment. That's the way I look at it. But anyway, let's get back to this petition here. You have the petition going. You want to get a parade in Vegas.
Yeah, so I looked up, and most of their cities is actually put on by their office. It's a government office called. It's usually the name of the state, and then I'll say resources for independent living. There's an independent living governmental office in every state, which is good because they help support people with disabilities so they can live independently, which is so important for dignity, right?
Right.
So usually it's the office that puts it on. From my research, at least I saw, there may be some parades that are put on by sponsors. I'm not quite sure. But my goal is to get enough signatures and then present it to the Office of Independent Living out here in Las Vegas, and see if they can help us put on.
That's cool. And I think honestly, there should be a parade in every state. Every state should get a parade going in the month of July for Disability Pride. There's pride parades for every other thing under the sun. You want a pride for gay pride, for I don't know, pride for everything. There's no reason why people with disabilities should not show that they're proud. Not proud that they have a disability, but pride in the fact that they're not letting the disability hold them down. Pride in the fact that they're still continuing to live even though they have a disability. People think because some people have a disability that they should just lay down and stay in their homes. People with disabilities are still formidable human beings.
Right. Yeah, the whole goal of the parade is that, and I mean, it's so much to build community, and then I mean, it's a whole movement, this pride, disability pride, and we basically want to kind of change the societal attitude,
Exactly.
conversation that about disability,
You
from
know,
having to be something that has to be fixed. Because for a lot of us, there is no fix. There's no cure.
right.
There's no surgery. Yeah. So we have to live our lives, and disability is a part of diversity, just like any section of diversity, race, religion, age, culture, whatever. Disability is just another part of that.
Exactly. Exactly. We're still human beings. Believe it or not.
Hmm.
We're still
Hmm.
part of society. Believe it or
Hmm.
not. Yeah,
Exactly. Exactly. It's kind of I think it's become my kind of life goal to challenge the negative stereotypes and prejudices that we face in our community. And I don't know, that's what gets me up every day. It's like a fire. It's,
exactly.
until that goes away, it's just what's
Exactly.
driving my life,
We s-
pretty
we s-
much.
we still wake up every day. We still breathe the air that you breathe. But people don't realize. People think because we have a disability that we stay in bed all day, or we sit in
Right.
front of a TV and do nothing all day.
Right. And that could be the case for some people with their abilities might be so progressed in their disease or illness or whatever. It might be the case that some people, some, not all, but some people with disabilities can't get outside
Exactly.
or live independently, and
But some
they're
people
still
can.
right. Some people can. It just we have to adapt how we do things, and um, the people who can't get out of bed and they're stuck at home. They're still a valued member of society too.
Exactly. Maybe because their body doesn't work. Maybe because our bodies don't work the way they used to, or
Hmm.
they don't work the way your bodies work.
Hmm. Hmm.
Doesn't mean our
Yep.
minds don't work.
Exactly. Exactly. And even if I have a cousin, for example, who I'm not quite sure what the name of his condition is, but he can't walk, he can't talk, and his mind is, I'm not sure. He doesn't seem like coherent, but he can feel, and he still is a person,
Exactly.
and he can still eat and drink, and, he can't walk or conversate, but the value of his life is equal to mine, to everyone's. And it's just so bizarre. Some people don't quite see it that way. They want to, some people, not everyone. I don't want to make this sound like a hatred against able-bodied people, because we have a lot of able-bodied people as allies on our side.
Of
A
course.
lot,
Of
a
course.
ton, a ton. So I don't want anyone to take this as able-bodied hate. I don't at all. Just like people like who are able. I'm married to an able-bodied person, so
Me
I
too.
certainly don't. The reason I am so specific on this, I have seen some posts from disabled people with disability who have disability just rail on people, able-bodied people, and I know why. It's because they receive so much negativity when they go out in the world. So then they go onto social media and they say a lot of negative things. That's certainly not the case at all. Able-bodied people are against us by far.
No.
And yeah, I had to pretty much like unfriended that person because he was so negative. I was like, that's not true. I would say the overwhelming majority of able-bodied people are on our side. It's only a very small percentage of idiots out there.
No, but it's true. It's true. It's just a small portion of people that are ignorant, and
Right.
it's just, you got to remember, even though there's people with disabilities, you got to remember everyone has feelings,
Right.
and everyone has positive parts to them, no matter what.
Right.
Again, like I said, maybe our hands don't work like yours, or maybe our bodies don't work like yours, but our minds work, or
Right.
our thoughts work, and we try as hard as anyone, and it's just different. We're the same but different, and
Right.
I want to make one thing perfectly clear. There's no such thing as a disabled person. We're a person with a disability.
Right.
We're not broken. We're just a little bit bent.
Right. Right. So a little bit of a challenge there.
Yeah. If you were
A little bit
disabled,
slower.
if you're a disabled person, that means you're broken. We're not broken. We're just a little bit bent. That's all.
Right. A little bent. Yeah, a little bit more, a little slower. A lot slower, actually. Maybe like 3 times the time it takes me to get ready as before. But I can still get ready and go out.
Now, I wanna let people know Kristy runs a group in Las Vegas. What's the name of the group there, Kristy?
Ataxia Awareness Las Vegas on Facebook. That's a group.
And I'm going to have that address to the group in the show notes for this podcast. Everyone's welcome to join that group. It's a fun group. It's a warm group. I got to say that. They're very welcoming. And it's a very educational group at the same time, as well as being fun. You get to meet Kristy, who I'm going to tell you. That's the best part. That's the best part of this group. Now, I'm going to tell you something about Kristy. You wouldn't believe this, and you're probably not going to believe me. So you're going to have to go on the group to find out. Kristy is also a fashion model. And her picture's a little bit over the edge.
Sometimes.
Some of them.
Sometimes I have some pictures in lingerie types, bikinis type stuff, but I have low artsy street clothes pictures too. It's a mix to me.
When I first seen the pictures of Kristy, I was like, what? And
you know what, Jimmy? That's kind of my goal, though, is to prove people with disabilities, we can still do things. We can still be artistic. We can still be entrepreneurs. We can still do our thing and just adaptively.
Well,
a bit different.
When I first seen your picture, I was like, she has no disabilities here.
You know what's funny, Jimmy, is it's the funniest thing. It's some people. Okay, you heard one thing: if people have invisible disabilities, right? In their mind, in their head. I mean, not in their mind, in their head. Invisible disabilities like a learning disability, epilepsy, things like that.
Right.
So mine is considered, and yours is considered a physical disability. Okay, I know you're an amputee, but in my case, if I get out of my wheelchair and sit in a chair, and I don't open my mouth, because it's kind of obvious when you hear me talk. I have speech issue. But let's say if I keep my mouth shut, if I get out of my wheelchair and I sit in a chair on the couch or anywhere, and a new person just comes along, they won't see it. So they won't know I have a disability. So I know there's something that invisible disabilities, But some of us with physical disabilities, if we're not like directly in a chair, using a walker or whatever, um, it's like they also can people can't quite tell. It may like kind of looks like an invisible disability in a way. Um, yeah, I've been mistaken so many times, just like kind of like what you're saying. And I've been actually
Oh,
actually funny story. I tried to friend this one lady with ataxia, and she was like, "Well, who are you? What do you have? You don't have ataxia. You're sick. You don't look sick."
well, that's it. I thought you were using the wheelchair as a prop in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, it's a prop for my life.
I I was like, when I first seen the, I was like, I don't know what disability she has.
Oh,
I did, and I thought the wheelchair was a prop. I was like, okay, I don't know how this is gonna work, but okay, we gave it a shot, and now I know.
no. That's funny.
But
Yeah, I'm trying to make some posts on my page so people know it's ataxia, but maybe at the time I didn't quite have enough of content for her to really grasp it.
but
Maybe.
in all honesty, I get the greatest respect for you because
Oh,
you don't let anything stop you. You plug ahead, and you don't. I mean, you got to be one of the busiest people I have ever met. You don't stop, and when you do get a chance to stop, you take a breath, you look around and say, what can I get my hands into now?
I
Yeah.
can't stop. That's pretty much a good perfect description, Jimmy.
It is. I know it is. I know it is. It's like you get a chance to take a second breath, and you're like, what can I do now? What can I do now?
I know, it's just that, I mean, you see so many things that are not fair or could be better, could be improved, and you see a way, it's like, I have to do this.
Yeah,
I
well,
have to.
but you're
I just
like,
have to.
if it doesn't need improving, you'll figure a way to improve it anyway.
Yeah,
And if you can't improve it, you'll invent something. Like,
exactly.
it's like I didn't hear from you for like a week, and all of a sudden it pops up this letter for for a thing.
That's what
I was like, what is this? And I thought it was
I
somebody
know.
else. I thought it was somebody else doing it, and you were just passing it along. No, it's yours. I was like, oh my God. And so I said, let me contact her. I don't know what this is about.
I don't know, Jimmy. I just kind of go along and I get some messages. People have suggestions or things I could collab on, or I work on my own projects and then I research something and I go, oh, we need this, we need that. I see this place has this, and we need this. They have this. Is this possible? Let's get this.
One of these days, and I'm not going to be surprised to hear it. Your husband is, when you're sleeping, if you ever go to sleep, your your husband's going to lock the door and disconnect the computer. I can see that happening someday soon, because
Funny. He's a software engineer, so I often have him help me get it to work stuff
yeah,
on the
he's going to
computer.
disconnect it. There's going to be no computer access in your side of the house there. So
I don't know.
you'll be typing stuff and mailing it. I can see it now. No more computers for you.
I'll be typing stuff in the grave.
Yeah, you'll be typing it and mailing it long distance.
I'll be advocating from my coffin.
Yeah,
My coffin.
yeah. They'll bury you with a cell phone.
Oh my gosh, I can't stop laughing.
Well, this has been real. This has been real. And
Yes.
we're going to get everyone to sign your petition, before your husband
Yes.
disconnects the computer.
Yes,
We're-
for sure.
We're gonna we'll have the address for the petition and for your group all in the show notes.
Oh, and we're also having a walk and roll, our first one in Las Vegas.
We're gonna
So walk.
on October 28th the walk and roll. But we're gonna
Yeah, that's going to be here in Sunset Park. And just in case people don't know what a walk and roll is, it's like a walk. They have for MS, and they have an MS walk to raise funds for MS awareness and research. So it's similar to that, but for Ataxia. So all the proceeds, donations will go to the NAF, the National Ataxia Foundation, to help their critical work that they do to help people with ataxia and help to hopefully speed up research and find treatments and cures and all that good stuff. So yeah, so anyone, if you're near Las Vegas on October 28th, you can come out to Sunset Park that morning and participate in our walk and roll. And yeah, we're so excited. It's going to be our first one.
Well, we're going to be talking about that more in the month coming up, because we're going to have you back on that we're going to promote that.
Oh, okay.
And
Awesome.
we're going to tell people how to sign up for it and all the other good stuff that goes along with it. So,
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much.
yeah, no,
thank you.
This isn't the last of you. This isn't the last of you. Kristy Taylor is going to be like, you're going to see her. She's going to be co-host on this before too soon. You're going to be on here a lot in the next few months.
Yay,
So
thank you.
we're gonna
Yay, that's awesome.
we're going to be promoting a lot that has to do with the Ataxia Foundation in Las Vegas and other places around the nation. So
Awesome.
we got a lot
Great.
coming
Thank you
up.
so much.
We got a lot coming up. So check out in the show notes for Kristy's Ataxia group in Las Vegas and the petition. You got to make sure you sign this petition. I think it's going to be for people in Las Vegas, so they have to sign it, right?
Good question, Jimmy. A good question, because I think people so far have been signing it from all over.
Well, you know what? Sign the petition. No matter where you're from, sign the petition, and it'll be like you're in Vegas. And if you can, fly down to Vegas.
Yes.
There
if
you go.
Can't come. It'd be more the merrier. For
Exactly. And put your money on Black 25.
Sure. Black 25.
Black
or you can donate it under my link.
Or you can just send it to me.
Or you can send it to Jimmy Apple.
There you go.
Yes.
Put it on Red
Support
Apple.
Support the Jimmy Apple Show.
There you go. Oh, Kristy, thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And let's see what we can do about getting a parade in Las Vegas.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me back on. I really had fun.
I enjoy it each time you're on. So,
thank you.
Thanks a lot. I want to thank Kristy Taylor for being here today. She's always amazing when she stops by. And I want to thank you, the listener, for being here today. Here's something to think about. You may not have everything you want, but cherish the things that you do have. One more thing. No one ever went blind by looking at things from the bright side. So give it a shot, my friends. Hey, you've been listening to An Apple a Day. My name is Jimmy Apple, and I'm going to talk to you again real soon. Have a great one today, my friends.
Thanks for listening to An Apple a Day with Jimmy Apple, your gateway to a happy, healthy life. Join our community at www.famousapple.com. See you next time.